Hey YouTube, and all the Bob Ross wet on wet painters, artists, painters out there, welcome. I have got something really exciting to share with you guys today. You guys are gonna love it or be like, wow, But let me tell you real quick before I share with you why. So I've been painting the Bob Ross wet on wet painting technique now for a couple of years. And one of the things I noticed is that the paints and the brushes don't, for me anyway, I'm sure there's a lot of artists out there that would say different, but for me, the paints and the brushes just didn't seem to respond and react the way they do for Bob. And I've had people say to me, I made another video about this with regards to trying out other brushes and other paints. I've had people say to me, you can get any brush and any paint to work on this technique, but you have to master the technique. Well, I'm an avid believer that the brushes and the paints make all the difference to the success and failure of this technique. So, I really got to thinking, out there years ago, Bob was selling brushes that he specifically designed the brush. He worked with Martin Weber on the paint as to how he wanted the formulation to be, how he wanted the brushes to be. And so Bob created his own paints and brushes that he sold. And I really wanted to get a hold of one of these brushes and paints. Of course, to get a hold of those paints now it's pointless. They're too old. But at least to be able to get a hold of the 2-inch and the 1-inch brush that Bob used to see how does it really look that different? Does it feel different? Does it react different? How different is the original Bob Ross Martin F. Weber brushes compared to from the time that, and this is fact, the brushes and paints that Bob Ross Incorporated are selling now are not the brushes and paints that Bob Ross offered when he was alive. After Bob died, Ross Incorporated decided to go with other vendors as a means of increasing profits and making money. So the brushes and paints that you buy from them today are not what Bob used and sold when he was alive. So again, I even if it was a used brush, I looked on eBay and Etsy and Marketplace and anywhere. I just wanted to hold in my hand an original, authentic Bob Ross licensed by him, not Ross Incorporated, him, brush. Well, check this out. This is a Bob Ross Master Paint set. It is supposed to go back to the late 80s, early 90s, somewhere in and around that time frame. This particular set, if you look on eBay or some of the other sites, one of the interesting things is that it comes with an instructional video, right? Check this out. You ready? Videotape, VHS. So I'm guessing because this is VHS, you can get this kit. I found this kit online with, instead of a videotape, a CD. So I'm guessing the CDs were probably more mid-90s, kind of thing. It may have even been an early 90s thing. So this could be that this kit really is authentic 80s because it's a videotape. But the kit has in it a nice little pamphlet showing you the contents. The paints, the knives, the brushes. One of the things I noticed is that these paints that he shows here do not match the paint that came with the kit. And I'm sure from 83 to 94, because Bob died in 95, that the kit changed over the years, you know. So the question that I'm really wondering, and I'd love for you guys to respond. What I'm really wondering is, am I really holding in my hand, is this, now the back does say Martin Weber, is this truly Martin Weber authentic Bob Ross licensed paint, right? Because again, it doesn't look like these tubes, but again, this, I don't know how old this brochure is compared to this kit. It may be that the tubes changed, but I will tell you that as far as the tube paint they're showing in this brochure, I have not found that paint anywhere online. eBay, Amazon, Marketplace, Etsy, whatever. I have not seen that style tube of paint anywhere, okay? So, and he came with a nice little instruction from Bob on how to do this technique. Came with a picture, one of Bob's paintings, signed by him, just a copy of it. Another little instructional pamphlet on the technique and how to do it. So, and then, for example, this is a container of liquid white, which I'm not going to open it for you here, but this compared to the stuff I bought from Bob Ross Incorporated, I'm sure that a lot of it's aged, but this is some pretty thick stuff comparatively to the stuff I'm currently buying. The question is, I'm sure it's aged, but is it? You know, was it, you know, again, even the liquid white, how much different is the liquid white compared to what you buy today from Bob Ross Incorporated? I'm sure it's not the same. I know it's not the same. But if you look on the box, you'll notice there's a label here, whereas there's no label here. It's on top. My question is this whole kit a scam? Okay? There's just people out there scamming. Is this really authentic Bob Ross? Is this really authentic Bob Ross? And when I say Bob Ross, I mean stuff that Bob Ross designed and sold when he was alive. One of the things I noticed in the kit, number one, the knife. I'm going to tell you right up front, there's a huge difference in this knife, okay? Because this knife, as far as thickness and bendability, is a lot different than the knife I'm currently using. So if this is authentic, which it says made in Japan, okay? Guys, please comment, okay? Is this authentic Bob Ross? I keep saying this and I'm sorry. Is this authentic Bob Ross when he was alive? This is the products he used and sold, okay? But I can tell you, there is a noticeable difference in the bendability of this knife. So if you're going down your mountains and this knife is thicker and it doesn't give as much, even if you're, you know, just barely touching, you know, like Bob talked about, I can see where this knife is going to react a whole lot different than the knife I'm using currently. I also noticed the script liner brush. So the script liner brush says UK on it, okay? Again, authentic Bob Ross. I thought I've seen some that just said Bob Ross, didn't have all this other on here. Guys, again, you tell me. Some of you people out there that are watching this video that bought Bob Ross products when he was alive, do you still have them? Is this what they look like? The number 6 fan brush says Sri Lanka on here, not USA. So is this a Bob Ross, authentic Bob Ross fan brush? Okay. Here's, guys, am I holding in my hand? Am I really holding in my hand an authentic Bob Ross 2-inch brush? I mean, this one, I've seen some brushes when I was looking right here said made in USA. This one doesn't, okay? Is this truly a Martin F. Weber, Bob Ross licensed, approved brush? I will tell you that this brush, unlike the Bob Ross brushes I have, is definitely different. It feels different. The edges are beveled. The top is not flat, okay? You can see it in here. It's beveled, okay? So you can really, I can see where this brush is just going to react altogether different than the Ross brushes I'm currently using. But my question, and again, guys, please comment, is this an authentic Bob Ross brush? And again, I know I'm repeating myself. I keep saying authentic, but I really want to know, did I get scammed? Is this just a rip-off, knockoff? Because look, there's all kinds of scammers out there duplicating stuff. For example, the wrapper it came wrapped in, okay? I looked online, and some of the wrappers I've seen had the Martin F. Weber logo underneath here. This one doesn't. But again, over the years, early on, they may not have put the Martin F. Weber logo on there. Then they started to. Is this really, again, authentic Bob Ross, or did I get scammed? My 1-inch brush, okay? Again, same thing. It doesn't have the Martin F. Weber logo on the bottom, but did they make them like these early on or later on? Maybe it had the Weber logo early on, but they took it off early on, later on. I don't know. But again, a lot different, just in feel and everything about this brush than the current Bob Ross brushes, which I would expect this to be. But again, the question is, am I really holding in my hand the same brush Bob used on his show and that he sold while he was alive? So I'm excited about the kit, but yet I'm sitting here going, did I get scammed? The kit also came with, it doesn't normally come with this book, but the person that sold this to me on eBay included this book with the kit. And interestingly, in the back of the kit, I wanted to show you this again. So here's what's kind of interesting here, right? So in this picture, unlike this picture, which is where I go back to what I say, I'm sure they changed things over the years. So you have those paints, right? But in this one, they show, guess what? The same paints I have in my kit. Authentic? Well, that's what I'm seeing here. But as I zoom in on the brushes, okay, the brush handles just say Bob Ross and the product number, okay? So, and even the fan brush says USA on it. But again, over the years, from when he first offered the kit to the time that he died, how much did the kits change, over the years? So, pretty cool book on all kinds of different paintings that Bob painted and how to paint them. So there you go, guys. I got a hold of a Bob Ross Master Paint Kit. The question is, am I holding in my hand authentic Bob Ross product that he sold and offered when he was alive? Part of it looks authentic. I'm kind of questioning the brushes. Let me know. Comment in the section. Maybe you have pictures. Maybe you have an authentic Bob Ross brush or brushes that you bought when he was alive? If you do, I'd love to see pictures or video in the comments of those brushes and see if they're different. Or maybe you can tell me that the brush that I have in here is actually an authentic Bob Ross brush because you bought this kit in the 80s or the early 90s while Bob was still alive, and this is exactly what that brush looked like, was this. So, I was excited to share that with you guys. Maybe I'm holding an authentic vintage kit. Maybe I got ripped off. I don't know. Still excited about it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let me see your comments. Keep painting. Keep the joy. See you later.